do you believe that? Do you believe all white people are inherently racist?
So I don't know if you're backing me into a corner with that question, but yes, I do.
All right. First of all, I want to start off by saying the audacity of this white woman to even ask such a question. They were having a dialogue about critical race theory, and she just threw this question in there. But since she did, let's get at it. This type of question is like asking, are all people inherently thieves? A lot of people will say, I've never stole a thing in my life. But then the question has to be asked, have you ever been put in a circumstance that strips you down to the core of who you are? Like, would you steal if you were starving? Or have your children ever been hungry? Your answers change based off of things like that. Well, the legacy of white supremacy has created a world that white people don't have to be racist in today. This is why it's so crazy when you run into somebody who actually is racist. It's like, you guys won and got away with everything. What are you mad about? What are you tripping about? Follow the language. Wherever you find their language, you will most likely find the most brutal forms of rape, torture, murder, pedophilia, slavery, deception, etc. How many Africans do you have speaking French, but they're not from France? Go all through South America, you'll run into black, brown, and red people who are speaking Spanish and they're not from Spain. Ask the Congolese people what happened when they came into contact with the white folks coming out of Belgium. Over 10 to 15 million of them murdered, mutilated, killed, children's body parts being hung up in the middle of the streets to make an example of who's in power there. Go to Brazil and see original people speaking Portuguese, but they're not from Portugal. Ask the Aborigines what happened when they came into contact with white folks in Australia. Hell, I'm speaking English right now, and ask the African and the Native Americans what happened when we came into contact with the English. Go to Bermuda and watch the Queen of England on their money, etc., etc., etc. The same story. Different countries with different white folks who all woke up with the same idea to go around the world and brutalize indigenous people. So the barbaric whites come in and take everything, and then the good whites come behind and drink tea and treat you right? Maybe you don't have to show inherent racism because you inherited a legacy of racism that affords you the privilege to not have to be racist. Yeah, it's easy to be nice when 91% of nuclear warheads is owned by Russia and America. How we all act when Africa is a superpower with weapons of mass destruction like every other independent nation? Because ain't nothing more dangerous or racist than a scared white person. Could you trust a nigga with a trigger? I do believe that there are solid white folks in this climate who may want better for all. White people today have the chance to show a better face through action, not through lying about history, like how public school taught me that the first president, George Washington, never told a lie and then skipped over all the slaves that he owned. Bottom line, our days of trying to figure out if there are some good white folks, those days are over. Our only job is to produce independent culture that empowers us, that protects us, and that makes us less vulnerable to every damn thing.